Welcome to episode 147 of the Mile High Endurance Podcast. Mile High Endurance is your weekly connection to coaches, experts, and pro athletes. Hey, we are your hosts, coaches Rich Soares, Kim Suthawan, and 303 Chief Bill Plock. And guess where we are? We are live in Kailua, Kona. It is race day. The Ironman World Championship is in the smack dab middle of progress right now. The men pros have actually just turned at Hawaii, and we're taking a little break waiting for them to come back in and bring you the show. How are you guys doing today?
Not bad.
Yeah?
You know?
Good.
Can't complain. This is not a bad place to be.
It's already, 10 o'clock? I'm 11,000 steps into the day.
11.
Something
wow.
like that.
I need to catch up.
I'm sorry, 13,000. 13,000 steps into the day. A good day on the pier, seeing the swim. We saw the fastest women's swim ever, Lucy Charles. We saw the fastest, and we need to confirm this, whether it's overall swim ever by a male or age group male, 46 minutes and 30 seconds.
Woo!
I mean, that's smoking. And I forget what Lucy's time was, but she was way ahead.
She was, I was standing there maybe waiting for 5 minutes for the next female pro to come through. So
I think she was 10 minutes up, wasn't she pretty fast?
She was 10 minutes over Daniela Reef for sure.
She had a substantial lead, definitely.
That was impressive.
So we're having a blast here. We have had a very busy week. You guys have been here since last Saturday.
Yes.
You guys have been here a week
Full
already.
week.
Full week.
Awesome.
Yep.
So different kind of show for you than typical. We actually have a couple of interviews we have. Earlier this week, Bill and I had a chance to interview Matt Chrabot, pro triathlete out of the U.S. He lives in Boulder, Colorado, and really kind of exciting to see him come out. He was fifth out of the water.
Yeah, he was in that lead group just like he said he wanted to be.
Just like he said he wanted to be. You're going to hear about it here in just a minute. We can't spill all the beans.
Right.
We got to leave some surprises.
Right. Yeah.
But kind of prophetic, because at the early stage of the bike, Tim O'Donnell was first and Matt Chrabot was second. They've fallen back just a touch to some of the really strong cyclists, but we're really kind of excited to see how the day turns out for him. This is kind of fun recording this like right in the middle of the race.
Yeah.
You know, any predictions? You got a prediction?
I don't know. I think I wanted to say Lucy Charles, but I'm nervous now. I think Danielle is catching up pretty fast. I think she's going to suck it up, and I think she's going to be champion again. Not that that's a bad thing, but I just thought when Lucy had that big lead, but Danielle's making a run pretty quick here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting my money on Lucy Charles right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. The men, I don't have a good feel. It seems like it's kind of all over the map right now.
Yeah, but Patrick Lange usually shows up with a pretty good run.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, and then with the men's race, it's usually on the run is where the race is won, not so much the bike.
I'm
Right?
not sure he was on the bike last race.
He was a little further behind, especially coming out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely not in the lead pack at all.
How's Gomez doing?
He's good.
He was in lead pack coming out.
Yeah, he was right behind. He's actually, last I checked, he was right behind Matt Chrabot. Matt Chrabot was sitting seventh, and Javier was sitting eighth. So
I think the most impressive thing I've seen is that age group swim with the men.
Mm-hmm.
That guy was light years ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, it was incredible. And then the last swimmers in was always fun. And they're you just want to throw a line to them and pull them in because they're
so close.
It's like the treadmill is just slowing down, and they're just like,
And the swell definitely picked up a little bit.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
They were throwing some people into the rocks almost, and it was pretty close to the wall.
yeah.
So.
Well, let's do this. What I'd like to do is let's kind of tee up our interviews here.
Okay.
And then after the interviews, I'd like to chat with you guys about some of the highlights from the week.
Okay.
And we'll kind of do like a little round robin, maybe kind of go three times around and see what we come up with. So our show today is sponsored by iKOR Labs. iKOR Labs is the all-natural CBD extract that is a super anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and mood stabilizer. Speaking of iKOR Labs, we have a second interview, a bonus interview that we're going to give you. Jon Robichaud of iKOR Labs, he's the chief marketing officer over there, joined me for a little chat back here in the grotto. So he's got a little information to share about his experience being here on the island, staying in the house with Tim Don, working with Tim Don a little bit this week. And so you got 2 interviews coming up. Matt Chrabot we'll go to right now. And then right after Matt Chrabot, we'll give you Jon Robichaud. And then we will be back with the wrap-up here. Wow.
Got me trained.
Well trained, man.
Got me
That's
trained.
Awesome. Oh, shit. All right, so hey, welcome back. So hopefully, for those of you who are watching the YouTube video, it seemed like it wasn't any time at all, of course. So let's talk about Matt Chrabot first.
Okay.
So what was your impression of our interview with Matt?
Of our interview of Matt.
Of Matt. How about that? Yeah.
No,
let's not give ourselves a review here.
I thought the interview was good, but Matt's just he's kind of a chill guy.
Totally chill.
But yet I saw him this morning at body marking, and I just went up to say good luck today and all that, and man, the dude was like the twisted up most rubber band I've ever.
Really?
I could just tell he was just so excited.
Wow.
You know? You could just feel his energy. He wasn't hyper or frantic, but you could just feel his energy. But he's a very thoughtful guy in terms of he knows his history of this race really well. He's very strategic. He comes across with so many varieties of racing. You can tell that sort of he absorbs it all and uses it to strategize for this race. I think probably a little bit differently than some people because he has such an extensive background in a lot of different distances and types of racing. That was my take.
Yeah, I thought he also had a really good understanding of his competition. I think he has a healthy respect for his competition. I think but he also knows, all of the, I mean, he knows, you said the history. I mean, he probably knows who was top 10 every race for the last 10 years, is my guess. Yeah. I mean, he seems to have
seems to study it.
Yeah, seems to be a pretty good student of the sport. He also, I think he's pretty confident in his preparation.
Yeah.
I mean, what didn't you think?
Yeah, when I asked him about being a dark horse, I mean,
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I mean that in the most positive way I meant.
Yeah.
He's kind of a new person on this scene, so we'll see what happens. But he definitely has confidence.
I mean, especially because he hasn't paid a lot of dues to this race. Think about Macca, right? He had a race here like 7 times before he finally won. And you talked often about having to pay your dues at this race before you can win it. Yep. So I thought your question was actually almost complimentary, right? As a dark horse being relatively new, he might have the potential to, he wasn't on the pro panel. Right. Javier Gomez was, and he's a rookie at this race. So yeah, that could make him definitely a dark horse. Yeah. Be interesting to see how his run does.
Yeah,
because I think he's a runner. He's a runner. Yeah, he's a small guy.
He's hoping to break 250. He said he wouldn't surprise him if he did.
Yeah.
So that would push him through a lot of people. Because he's obviously strong in everything, but we'll see where he is on the bike. Yeah. And we'll cheer him on if we know a 250 is going to get him 8:20, 8:15, 8:10. Then let's. One next to him and cheer, right?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Kim. What's a highlight? We'll start with you. Ladies first. What's one of your highlights from the week?
Well, you guys both know that my primary goal, being the celebrity correspondent here, my primary goal for this trip was to meet the Prince of Bahrain, which I've done. So getting a selfie with him was definitely one of the highlights of my trip so far.
And when was that? Describe when it was.
So it was yesterday at the bike check-in. And so he showed up just like every other normal athlete, didn't go through some crazy back door. He showed up, went right through the procession, and then on his way out, I was able to make an introduction and ask for his photograph. And he was very gracious and obliged.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So I'll go next. I would say one of my early highlights of the trip was the group of the few interviews that we did over at Lava Java.
Yeah.
We had the Team Colorado breakfast. We invited all of the Colorado athletes that are racing this to come down have breakfast with us and do a few interviews. And sometimes it just surprises me how honest and human and raw some of the content that we get, and the story, especially AJ Johnson.
Right.
And I really encourage you, if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't yet heard the 303 radio podcast that we've done this week, you've got to check these out. The story of AJ Johnson. He was coaching a gentleman named Joe for a number of years. Joe's goal was to qualify for Kona through the Legacy program. He did this past year, had a slot to race today, and he passed away earlier this spring. And AJ is running for him. He's literally racing Joe's slot. So that is just a heartwarming story. Joe's wife is here. They just got married 2 years ago. In a way, it's a heartbreaking story, but it's also a heartwarming story.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just one of those things that really kind of touched me emotionally very early in the.
Isn't he wearing a necklace with the ashes?
He is, yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. All right, your turn. You're next.
Oh boy, highlight of the week. I really, I don't know why, but I love the Parade of Nations.
Okay. Yeah.
And I love walking through the. I did it last year just on a last second idea, and I love doing it. This year I did it again when they're all queuing up behind the hotel, and I just walking through and getting everybody's picture holding their sign for their country. Sometimes the flag, depending on the person, and sometimes it was a kid because their dad or mom was doing it. Mm-hmm. But it was just like this instantaneous connection for just a second or 2 seconds, and they give you a big smile. And I felt like I knew what they were doing, and they know why I was doing this, because they just were so proud, and it was just a really neat moment. And then you just go on to the next person, and I felt like in 30 minutes I met 50 friends from around the world that I'll never see again in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow there's a connection that I'll always have with each of them in some way that, who knows what that means exactly in the long run. But it just really is fun.
You guys, there's dolphins right out there. You see them?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I thought that was going to be. I thought that was going to be your first.
There's a pod of dolphins.
I'll have to say that for the next.
Yeah, that's your next round.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Sorry.
But yeah,
I'm like, there's dolphins out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, see them?
See them now.
You can't see them.
You can't
There's no way
see
you
them.
can see them.
So anyway, I'll say yeah. Okay.
Okay, so you've seen no brain damage. This is going to be easy for you.
Yeah.
All right. Second highlight of the week.
Not seeing the dolphins. No, just kidding. Kona's just one of those places that it never gets old. And having raced here in 2015, there's a part of your soul that will always stay here. And I will tell you that sitting on the pier, watching the swim start, hearing the drums go, I got teary-eyed. I always get teary-eyed because part of me wishes I was out there racing again.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah.
We got to come back here and do it someday.
I know. I got to keep campaigning. I need to win the lottery is what I need to do. Because I can't qualify through the Legacy program anymore since I've done it.
Does the prince have a brother?
Did the prince have a brother? I don't know.
A cousin, something?
You can Google that and find out.
Right?
Okay.
But yeah, part of me really would love to come back out here, race this again, have my father come watch me race, because that was their intention. Both my parents. My parents have never watched me finish an Ironman or race an Ironman. They've never been to Hawaii. And when he, had his stroke, literally 3 months before I was going to race Kona, it was hard. It was hard not having them out here. So that's one thing that, as a gift to him, I would like to give to him.
Well, I hope we can make that happen.
I hope so. I hope somebody can make it happen for me. It'd be nice. But yeah.
All right. So my next highlight. This kind of goes back to some discussion that we've had in recent weeks. So everybody knows that we did Oktoberfest. We were out at Oktoberfest.
I know where this is going.
So Oktoberfest, it's optional to wear a costume, and we had joked for a bit about maybe me doing a Ferris Al Sultan lookalike and donning the Speedo and a wig and racing as Ferris. And of course I chickened out. I didn't do it for a number of reasons.
Gosh.
And last night at the Thank God I'm Not Racing party, we were, in fact, it was really toward the end of the evening. We were kind of getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
And we spotted Ferris, and Kim said, you got to tell him that you were going to do this. And it was really funny, too, because I tapped him on the shoulder. English isn't his first language. He speaks fine English. But you could tell he was like looking at me like, where are you going with this?
Like, who are you?
Who are you? And I'm like,
and he had a very stoic look on his face.
He did. Like, almost like he was like concerned. Like,
he's about ready to run, right?
And
stalker.
Another stalker, yeah. And, so I kind of reminded him that we had chatted last year and that I did this race and I was going to dress up like him. And he laughed. He thought, all of a sudden, he just like totally...
That's awesome.
Came off, his guard came down and he laughed at us.
He was like, that was the look back then.
Yeah.
And that was his response. That was a look back then and I kept it.
And I think he would still, if he was still racing today, he'd still have the same, he'd be rocking the Ferris Al Sultan.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's funny.
So there's highlight number 2. All right, Bill.
Well, I guess you guys kind of made me feel bad for not making this my number 1 highlight because it was pretty incredible.
They're still out there.
Speaking of dolphins, that was a fun day in general. The swim out to the coffee bar, we did the underwater camera shot. That was cool. And then I don't really love swimming out here as far as like swimming. I love snorkeling and all that stuff, but I get kind of queasy swimming sometimes. And I thought, well, I'm gonna push it out and just go out and just let myself go further than I have in a long time. And I kept thinking also of Mark Allen in the opening night when he talked about embracing the island and how until he did that, he couldn't win here. And he really found some peace in the island. And I was thinking about those words as I was swimming, and I've thought about it many times since, and trying to just be open to the island. And I was just swimming along, and I was probably another 1,000 yards out from the coffee bar, 800, something like that. And I looking up to sight, and these 2 fins were coming right at me, like literally like 10 feet away. And I'm like, I about swallowed my water, and all of a sudden, but there was 2 of them, and I'm like, oh, those aren't sharks. And then they just dove right underneath me, and there was 2 dolphins. And then, I'm like, wow, that's so interesting. And I'm like looking around, and all of a sudden, there's dozens of dolphins, and they're all over the place. And
could you hear them clicking and stuff?
Oh yeah, I could hear them talking, and they're just swimming, and they're swirling and swimming backwards and upside down, and they were just playing. And I'm just like floating there in this amazing blue water and just watching these dolphins. And
you're going, what's that pink thing?
Yeah,
pasty white thing.
What I had never seen before. I've seen dolphins, but I've never seen a dolphin mother and a calf, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I saw several of those combinations, and the calves were only, they weren't big. Mm-hmm. And I've never seen a dolphin. I never see dolphins. They're all the same size. Mm-hmm. But I've never seen a baby. That was pretty interesting to just watch them swimming together.
That's pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. I've never seen that before. And they got super close. Like, I almost could have touched one. Some woman tried to grab the fin. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Not me,
on, yeah.
She's swimming super hard. I was just like, I just wanted to like punch her. But it was a beautiful moment for sure.
I think you're in SeaWorld.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't realize how rare that was.
Very rare.
I know. I'm like, I just thought that happened.
Nope. Hasn't happened to me yet.
Yeah, and you've been how many times?
This is my 10th trip to the Big Island.
And you swim a lot.
I swim a lot. I was told by my coach to go swim at the Kona Aquatic Center. And I looked at him and I said, that's like going to China and eating at McDonald's. Are you out of your stinking mind? Right. There's a bunch of ocean. I'm going to go swim it. I'm not going to go swim in a lap pool.
Right.
I know, it's really funny. But it's funny, like a lot of the pros do. Like Matt Chrabot said he was going to the pool. Yeah. I agree with you. There's no way I'd go swim in the pool.
No,
I got this. I actually, see it by contrast. I love swimming in this. I think it's awesome.
I went out a second time, and there's definitely more swells. And there were so many people going both directions.
Yeah.
It was a little bit scary.
It is a little scary.
So I'm like, I don't need it. The water visibility that day was pretty poor, so there was people all around just constantly, and you couldn't see them from one swell to the next.
Yeah.
It was a little sketch, so I just bailed on that.
Sure.
Got a little sidebar plug here. So we did post a video on Facebook, 303 Triathlon's Facebook page, a little kind of how-to guide on how to do the morning swim, kind of what that whole process is, and checking in your gear. Kind of got a little behind-the-scenes look at that, and just kind of what it's like to get out there and swim before. So check it out if you haven't already.
It's like a race 5 days a week here.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was the one thing that, I have a couple friends that are on the Big Island for the first time, here at Ironman for the first time. And I said, so what's your experience been like? And they're like, this is nothing like any other Ironman event. I was like, yeah, basically the expo is about a mile long, give or take, unofficially, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's stuff going on every single day for an entire week.
And
so it's not just Thursday,
Right.
where most Ironmans have.
So many people running all day. It's like
All
a
day
marathon.
long.
Everybody-
Bikes
And
everywhere, people
I saw some guy
everywhere.
running at 4:30 this morning. I mean,
Yeah,
looked like he'd been running for 2
Yeah,
hours.
he had bottles all over his belt. and everything.
Maybe he's training for like Ultraman or something,
Right.
Hawaii, which is actually
Right.
coming up soon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
It looks like you could be that kind.
could be that guy.
All right, so we'll do at least one more round of
Okay.
highlights. But before we do, I've got a little plug here. I got to plug a sponsor. Rip laces are the awesome no-tie, the best, most durable elastic lace system you can buy. And
Check him out.
check this out. I can just
Look how sloppy.
You just kicked him off
kick them off right there.
right there.
Look how sloppy mine are
Oh yeah,
compared to his.
yeah.
Right?
There you go. Look at that. How about that?
So which shoe would you rather have? The one that looks cool or the one that doesn't look cool?
Awesome.
Too funny.
Yeah, make sure you check out Rip Laces.
So
There is
get
a
my shoe back on.
I know, me neither. There is a link on the discounts page of Mile High Endurance, and you will take you right there, and you can purchase the really super cool Mile High Endurance logo kit. I've gotten a few compliments on these.
Have you?
Yeah, Matt Smith, I actually was interviewing. He and Eric, his athlete that he's guiding today, and he had his San Zigo ones on. He's like, dude, those aren't the San Zigo ones. Where'd you get those?
Nah.
He's like, those are
You're like, I'm
that's
special.
the podcast logo. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I hear the helicopter. That's why I'm looking around. I thought I heard the helicopter. I'm like, there's no way they're coming down.
No, not yet.
but
Not
we
yet.
better keep an ear out.
Yeah.
All right, you want to kick off another round?
Gosh, I don't know what else I could even imagine.
Are you
to-
serious? You got so many.
No. Well, but this is your second rodeo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you. You can take a pass if you want. Come on, you got one.
What else? What else?
Food post.
Food posts. Oh yeah. So I've been posting up on. When are you publishing this?
Tonight.
Tonight?
This will go up in a few hours.
So I've been posting on the 303 Triathlon and my own personal Instagram page of food I've been eating on the Big Island every single day, and all the correct answers constitutes your name in the hat for a Kona prize bag, which I've been collecting things all week long, and the prize bag is getting pretty generous. Let's put
Nice.
it that way. Some t-shirts, there's some sunglasses. I think there's a bag of scratch in there. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff.
Awesome.
Okay. Awesome.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's just been fun, like a lot of my friends from back home, I never get to see, but for whatever reason, we all end up in Kona and we bump into each other all the time. So it's been a lot of fun
We
having
can't
those
take
little
you
mini
anywhere.
reunions everywhere.
Every single place we go, Kim. Takes us. If you really want to be late someplace, take Kim with
Oh, stop it.
Nah.
No. Stop it. No, it's fun. It's fun. It's good to know that, you're amongst friends on
Yes,
the Big Island.
that's
right?
absolutely true. All right, so I got another highlight. So it's kind of ironic. It's an ironic highlight in a way. So last year, I went out for a couple of runs out on Lee. That was kind of cool because I got to see that part of the course. Thought that was kind of fun. But, you always hear about the Energy Lab and how hot it is out at the Energy Lab and that stretch of highway and running on that stretch of highway. And so I've always kind of wanted to do it. And the other day, Bill said, hey, why don't we just go run the Energy Lab and back, or from the Energy Lab back to Kailua. And so we got a ride out there and got dropped off about, a half a mile further from the energy lab. And Bill and I ran back to town. That was kind of fun.
It was fun.
What'd you think of that? It wasn't that hot.
It was actually a pretty decent day.
I think we were lucky.
Sweating bullets, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. I thought it would be hotter feeling, but it was hot. No,
it did seem like it took longer than it actually did. Like I felt like I'd been running for 2 hours and looked down at my watch. I'm like, oh, I've only been running for an hour.
Yeah. You do feel desolate.
It's very.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the views are big. It's kind of nice. Blacktop is hot. I mean, I was only on there, and this was at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, you guys went kind of late.
I was on the east side of the road, I guess, and it was pretty hot. It's pavement, and I noticed on the other side of the road there was just enough. The sun was down just enough where there started to be some shadow in the shoulder. So I ran to that side, and it made a big difference. Like that little bit of shadow. I'm like, that was way better.
We'll say though, this week
it was fun.
This has been the most pleasant weather I've ever had on the Big Island. Like,
it's been good.
70s in the morning.
Well, it was raining the first couple of days you guys got here.
Yeah, but it's been cool in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's been, somewhat decent at night, so it hasn't been crazy, like, stenchy humid like it normally has.
So they said this morning it was 90% humidity.
This morning?
Yeah, with the rain last night. Doesn't feel too bad.
It doesn't feel too bad now, no.
We're sitting in the breeze and the shade, so.
That's true.
I think once we start walking, it's going to catch up.
It felt pretty hot just standing out there.
Yeah, it did.
Notice how we're not doing this in the sun?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Notice how we're not doing this in the sun?
Yes.
It gets hot out there.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, buddy. What's another
I'm
highlight?
gonna say a highlight is something that has yet to happen, that I know will happen because I've done it every year, and I'll walk up Ali'i Drive just ahead of the pros running, and it's my favorite feeling, and it truly is a feeling because the helicopter is we all know follows the pros, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll get a couple miles up the drive, and then I'll just start walking, and I can feel that energy coming behind me. I can hear the helicopter really distant, and then it gets a little louder, and then the pack of runner. I mean, the energy you just feel coming up Ali'i Drive is pretty cool. And you walk through the aid stations before anybody's coming through there, and everybody's excited, and the volunteers this is a big deal for them. It's a huge deal for them. And as you know, so many people do this for years and years and come and. So it's just a fun walk until I find a place where I want to sit for a little bit and take some pictures of the runners. That's definitely a highlight for me, and I know it'll happen again. So I'll share that now.
Awesome. Hey, one more quick sponsor plug. Rudy Project. Rudy glasses and helmets and gear designed to protect you and make you look awesome.
I saw Paul Craig the other day, as a matter of fact, and talked to him.
Oh, yeah?
And they got a brand new aero helmet that they've introduced here, and it's doing pretty well. And he's pretty excited about it. So
not the Busto one, not the.
I don't know what it's called.
Okay, a third aero helmet.
I don't know. I could be wrong, but he's pretty excited. He showed me it, and he was excited about it. And
awesome.
Yeah, so check it out.
Check it out. There you go. I didn't even know about it.
There you go.
All right. Any other highlights?
There's too many.
There's too many.
I got one more I'll share, which was in the swim start. I got it on the Zodiac boat to cover when the pros started. That was a really cool perspective.
How close to the swimmers were you in that boat?
From
10 feet, 50 feet?
From here to that tree right there.
Oh, wow.
So you could see the action really well.
You could see the action really well. It was really it was still hard to make out who was who.
Sure.
But
did you see him sort of jockeying and positioning? And
there was like hardly any jockeying. I mean, they sorted themselves out pretty quickly. What was interesting is both groups, in both male and female pros, there were two pelotons, if you will.
Right.
And then they sort of merged into one.
Okay.
That was kind of interesting to see.
And then there's Lucy Charles.
Right. I was going to say, she was never in anger.
No.
Golly.
She was ahead from like 50 yards from the start. She was noticeably
you
ahead.
could tell. You could tell it was her from the very beginning.
Yeah. I mean, that's no prediction of how you don't win it on the swim, but man, she looked good.
Yep.
Yeah, the men were in a nice straight line coming in. Those 10, 11, 12 guys were just like slotted. Did they get a bonus for being the first swimmer in?
Yeah. There is. There is a bonus. And then, of course, with their sponsors, they get bonuses.
Right.
Yeah.
And Josh is known for his swim, right?
Yeah.
And, yeah. Andy Potts, I guess. So Allison was sitting there, and when Andy Potts came by, I guess he was waving.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I saw him stretching. Before there's a great picture that we've got.
I saw some of those pictures.
And then Mike Riley came by and chatted with him, and then I went over. I'm like, legit all day again today? And then did a little fist bump. He's like, legit all day again today.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Legit all day?
Yeah, last year I interviewed him at the finish line.
He's like, I was legit all day.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
It is really awesome.
All right. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed today's show. Hope you enjoyed the interviews. And we are going to wrap up right now. Stay tuned, stay informed, and enjoy the endurance journey. Hey, wait a minute. One more last little plug. Make sure, I'm really serious, you got to make sure you go to 303triathlon.com. Check out all of the stuff that we have, all the articles that we have from this week. Also, check out Facebook. We've got a lot of stuff there. The album is loaded with great pics.
And it's growing.
And there's still more content, lots more content to come. So don't think that it's over when you listen to this. Make sure you check it out. How about that for a plug?
Perfect.
Yeah.
That, huh?
I like it.
Be legit, folks.
And, maybe why don't you talk about the sponsors that we have? Let's give them a plug.
Yeah, we'll give them a sponsor. So it wouldn't be possible to be here without our sponsors. And Infinite Nutrition, iKOR, and the triathlon.
Core Sports.
Core Sports, the wear. Blue Cycling, who makes great bikes, and they're from Colorado. They're located their headquarters there pretty recently. And Base Performance Salt and Hydro and all the different products they make as well. And they were Colorado based too. And all four of those were just great sponsors. And we had a good time with all those guys too, particularly Matt, who's always fun at Base, and iKOR had a couple of fun things going on with us. And, yeah, I didn't tell you this quick story on iKOR. I was in their booth, and some woman bought a tri-top or something and gave him a $50 bill, and he didn't have enough change. He asked me if I had a $5, and I did. I said, yeah. He said, just ask my invoice. And
That's my invoice.
don't worry about it. And then he was walking by the next day, and he reached around and stuffed a $5 bill in my
Oh, was it Reggie?
Yeah.
Oh, he's nice.
So, yeah, they're all great, just great people, right?
Yes.
And we've enjoyed working with them and trying to give them as much as we can for helping us out. So.
Yeah, it's cool. Hey, it's been a lot of fun with you guys too.
Absolutely.
I really enjoyed this trip with you guys. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, now.
And we're sharing a bed, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, no more sleepwalking.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we better shut this down now. Stay tuned, stay informed, and enjoy the endurance journey.
Aloha.
See ya. Aloha.